Howdy, friends. It's Steve DePaul with the Rose Realty team with this week's real estate vlog for North Texas. Tips for first-time home buyers. Now, look, first of all, my apology. We were supposed to do this vlog about 2 weeks ago, and then we got the fortunate break to talk to Sandy Raspberry at Lake Forest Village and to Dana Hara, the leader of our real estate planner organization, and I couldn't pass those up. Those were two great wins for us in terms of our vlogs. So I had to kind of put this one on hold for basically it was 2 weeks. My apologies. We'll get right at it. So look, today we're diving into the five must-know tips for first-time home buyers, or people who haven't purchased a home and maybe like a really long time. So if you've been sitting in your home for let's say 20 years, a lot has changed since you purchased that home and you moved in. So this kind of works to your advantage as well, not just people who have never purchased a home before. So anyway, if you're thinking about buying a home, you're in the right place. We're going to get you the answers, and we're going to put some thoughts in your heads. So let's jump right in. Before we get to that, hey again, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/at moving to Dallas, Texas. We thank you and we appreciate you for doing that. You'll get all of the past vlogs we've done. You get all the videos that we've done on various homes and various topics. Like I just did one a little while ago about a 3.99% mortgage rate. There's also a 2.99% out there with one of our lenders that we haven't touched on yet. But anyway, there's some great info there. You'll become really educated, you may want to call that, in terms of real estate. And you become the smartest person in your neighborhood as far as real estate. But like I've said, that's a blessing and a curse. So that people will be coming to you, all your friends and family will be coming to you with questions. Maybe that's a little bit too much for you, so just pass them off to me. Give them my contact information, and I'll be glad to help them out, especially family and friends. So again, we thank you for supporting us, our YouTube channel, and we especially appreciate and thank you for supporting our team. Okay, part one, understanding your budget. So it's important to get pre-approved in today's market when we're going to start looking for houses. Why? You don't want to go into a situation where we're looking at houses at the $500,000 level, and your lender tells you you can really only afford, maybe with the two car loans you just got, okay, you can only afford a $400,000 house. The difference in the two will disappoint you. You won't be able to afford that $500,000 house, and it's not going to go well, and you're going to become kind of depressed, right? And so both of us want to understand, not only you for what you can afford, me for what I can and should be able to show you, but also for the people who are selling their house, because I'm going to get a call from the listing agent saying, "Hey, did Mr. and Mrs. Smith like that house?" I'm going to say, it turns out they couldn't afford it. And then the real estate agent on the seller side is going to be upset. Okay, you can talk to a lender. If you don't have a lender, we've got three or four fine lenders that we work with that we would highly recommend. And you talk to them, and they can comb through your finances and then help you understand what you can and can't afford, right? And then there are hidden costs, closing fees, insurance. Your insurance company, whichever one you choose, is going to ask you for somewhere between 3 and 6 months of insurance in advance, and then maybe you can go on a month to month, but they're going to ask you for that for an advance, partly because they want to kind of build up sort of potentially an escrow account for your insurance, so you're never without it. So you're never without the insurance. Remember, the three factors that are involved when you buy a home is you, your insurance company, and your lender. Okay. And so those it's important for you three to kind of work together and get on the same page. And then there's maintenance, of course. Every house is going to need something. Even if the house is perfect, you're likely going to want to paint some walls or put in a new door or change that carpet or whatever it is. You're going to want some money kind of put on the side there for maintenance. And maybe that's your first couple of, paychecks or something, but you're going to want to understand that you're going to want some money for maintenance because you're not just going to be able to pick up the phone and call the landlord and say, hey, I want to paint this wall, or could you paint this wall, or could you change the light bulb? That's all on you now. Or, you're the handyman that you find in your particular neighborhood. Choosing the right real estate agent is important. Why is that? You want somebody that knows the area, okay? We've had experiences with it's sort of a shame where people come up from Houston with their real estate agent in tow. And a great real estate agent, professional, really knocks it out of the park, but just doesn't know North Texas rather. They're great at Houston. They understand Katy and all of that, all those towns and communities down there, but they don't understand Roanoke. They don't understand Little Elm. They don't understand Flower Mound. Okay, and we do, and so it's important to have a kind of a local real estate agent who understands our environment up here and understands our communities and kind of what to watch out for. So you also think about when you're going to interview this agent. You're just not going to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I want to buy a house. Help me out." You're going to want to interview the agent. So think of questions that you're going to ask the agent during that short interview process. Like, we work during the day all the time, and we can only see houses after 5 p.m. Is that going to be okay with you? Most of our time is going to be spent on the weekend looking for houses. Are you available? How long does it take? Does your title company work on weekends? Because that's when because we're likely to find a house on the weekend and put in an offer on a Sunday or a Monday, kind of thing. So there's all kinds of questions, there's several questions that you want to ask to make sure that that agent appreciates you and can kind of fit into your schedule and you fit into theirs, et cetera. Researching the right neighborhood. So more people than ever, okay, right now are searching for houses online, naturally, right? But that combination of searching for houses online, they're also looking at, well, is this neighborhood going to work for us? And if it does, what's the school system like? What's the communities like? Does the lifestyle fit us? Okay. Does do the neighbors all get together for block parties and that kind of stuff? That's not something that we can really tell you, but we can always kind of when we look for houses, we can kind of and look at properties, we can kind of see if there's anybody out in the street and say, hey, how do you like the neighborhood and that kind of thing, right? You're going to want to look for crime stats and crime statistics, which is easy to find nowadays. And what kind of local amenities are. So you're in a community, do they have a playground and a pool for your kids? Do they have tennis courts? Is there a golf course in the community? So it's more like a resort type living. Stuff like that, so that you understand, what your family, number one, to some degree, what you're going to be paying for. So you're going to buy the house. There's likely going to be an HOA fee. An HOA fee is going to cover the pool and the fitness center and the playground, kind of thing, right? So what kind of amenities do they have? And then what's the future development? Now that's something where that's kind of twofold, right? So is the community built out, and then therefore there's no future development inside the community, but what's in the surrounding areas? Are there other communities going to go up? Are they going to put in a shopping center over there? Are they going to put in a nuclear waste dump, over here in the backyard? So we have to find out what the future development is, and a lot of that's available with the state of Texas, where we can kind of dig that up, and kind of find out what's planned currently for that particular area. So we want to know, what we're facing in the future. Your home search, like I said, and making offers. So your home search, you're probably going to do a lot of it online. Even people that have asked me, hey, set up a search for me for this community or for this area or for this type of house. And I'll constantly send them, houses that are for sale. But they'll also do their research and say, hey, these are great, but I found these. Can you look into these for me, and then give me a list. And then when we go out, we would take a day, let's say a Saturday morning, and we start going look at houses, and we're going to see 6 or 8 houses. Typically, two or three of them are houses that they found, that I just kind of passed over because I thought it didn't have one of the specifications in it that they were looking for. When you go to open houses, you're going to want to look. First of all, you're going to want to go over there and say, "I have an agent. Steve's my agent." Okay, that for if you do that, then the person who's working the open house will probably kind of leave you alone to kind of go and check it out and allow you to go from room to room so you can talk and chat. Hey, the kids' room will look great. This will be great for a kids' room, or this is the right size for our master bedroom, or something, something like that. Some red flags to watch out for during an open house or even a house tour that I set up for you is stuff that's when people sell when people understand when people sell their house, I like to think of that as a business decision. Okay, they've decided to sell their house. The house sort of is no longer theirs, and then they have to do what they can to get the most for their house. That means keeping it neat and tidy, keeping it decluttered, keeping it clean, keeping things off the kitchen counter. And if you walk to a house like this and there's boxes stacked up and there's the garage is off limits. I mean, they can stick as much stuff in the garage as they want. But if there's boxes piled up in the master or the kitchen, you can't get into the kitchen because furniture is moved in front of the doorway, or there's way too much furniture in the living room, or it's just dirty, or the faucet is leaking. Those are all red flags that this house, number one, isn't ready, or number two, they're trying to detract us from the real issues at hand. Okay, so we have to watch out for those things. And then we help you make a competitive offer, right? So what we'll do is we'll research the area and we say this community is selling above, at, or below market. I'll do an analysis to see what that house is worth compared to other houses in the area that's sold, and then we'll put in a competitive offer. Okay. Now, my job as a fiduciary for you is to make sure you get that house at the lowest price possible. At the same time, what that also means is we have to be realistic. Okay, so if all the houses in the area are going for, let's just say, at market ask, we can't go in at $30,000 above ask, right? Because their agent is going to tell the seller, hey, these people are smoking dope. They don't know what they're doing. Okay, so we want to be competitive. We want to make the right offer, and we want to make the offer that we want to make the offer that gets accepted. Which means when I talk to that agent, the other agent, I'm going to ask, what are they looking for? Maybe they're looking to close and spend a month there while their other house is getting prepped, or they're building a house and we think we want to close in 4 months, or what have you. I'm going to listen to that agent so that when we make an offer and that offer gets accepted, in order for that offer to get accepted, that what happens is we have to have an offer that satisfies the sellers, not only in terms of price, but in terms of all the other little things like they want to stay there for 2 months. Okay, so we're gonna listen to them as well, and we're gonna write up an offer that's going to get accepted. And then lastly, navigating inspections and closings. Look, the inspector is a licensed inspector through the Texas Real Estate Commission, just like I am. And so they have a job that they have to do. So they're going to do a report, okay? And it's going to be like a 30 or 40-page report once you get it, and that's going to have 90 things on it that are wrong. And 85 of those 90 things are going to be just things that they always put on, like the caulk on the outside windows is dry and brittle. You know what? It's Texas. And so it's going to be dry and brittle. As many times as I've put that down on a repair amendment to ask the sellers to fix it, it always gets rejected because it's Texas. Okay. Things like there's a crack in the driveway. You know what? All concrete cracks. Period. End of story. And so there's no way that they're going to go through the effort to fix that crack. Besides, it's probably going to look crummy. They're not going to go through the effort to fix that crack because all driveways have cracks. Okay, so we're going to know what to pay attention to on the on the inspection report and what we're just gonna accept. So, for example, with me, I'm going to focus on big ticket items and safety items. Those are the two things that we're going to focus on. So we're going to focus on the roof, the AC, and the hot water heater. Those are the three big things that we're going to kind of focus on. And then safety items. How's the plumbing? Does the plumbing look good? And how's the electricity? And then also again the roof, although that was covered under big ticket items. Okay, we're going to look at those things. Okay, and then we're going to make sure that they pass inspection so that we know that if we have to make a correction or we have to ask for money or ask for the seller to fix it, then we know. Okay. And then what to expect at closing. So we're going to walk it. We're going to hold your hand from the first day that we meet to closing when I hand you the keys and you walk into that house, and it's your own. So we're gonna walk you through it step by step. So look, from the budgeting and the mortgage to getting pre-approval, the right neighborhood, and navigating the closing process, that's what we're here for. Whether it's me or a member of the Rose Realty team, we'll walk you through each essential step to help you buy with confidence so that when we hand you those keys, like I said, and you walk through that front door for the first time, you'll know you made the right decision. And there was nothing hiding out that's going to surprise us. Next week, selling your home and wanting to get it off the market as quickly as possible. And next week's vlog, we're going to show you some home staging tips that will help you home sell quickly and get your property sold at the highest price possible so that you can maximize equity and move on to that next stage, whether it's upsizing, downsizing, moving out to see the kids, moving out to be closer to the parents. We're gonna show you how to sell your house quickly, how to stage your house quickly, so you can reduce time, maximize price, and maximize your equity. This is Steve. I'm with the Rose Realty team. Until next time.